Good afternoon, class. I'm going to try to explain what we're doing with these core skill reflections and program reflections. First of all, they are basically arguments. You are writing little mini arguments for each one of the core skills and the program outcomes. So anyway, think about it like an argument. Okay, so what is an argument? An argument consists of two main parts, and this goes back to Aristotle. There has to be a claim. Okay, a claim is an opinion statement. Okay, and then you have reasons that support the claim. Okay, the reasons, they have to be explained and developed, so that they make sense and that the reader can follow them, but you have to have reasons. Okay, so let's look at written communication. This is the basic argument that you're making for each one of the core skills or program outcomes. Okay, starting with written. My written communication skills meet the standards for first semester college juniors. Okay, so anyway, you are in your sophomore year, last semester. You're getting ready to transfer to university or possibly get a job. And so anyway, your skills should be at that first semester junior level. Okay, and so now what you're doing is you are creating, you should have goals, but anyway, some of you are creating goals. And these goals are reasons, basically, that you can use to support that you have met the standards for the core skills. Okay, so let's say for written communication, I meet the standards for the first year college junior because I can write a 3 to 6 page paper. Let's stop for a minute. Well, just because you can write a 3 to 6 page paper does not mean that it's at the level that it needs to be for college, for a college junior. So a goal like that is not a very specific or telling goal in that it says nothing about the quality of the artifact or the paper. Okay, so that's not a good goal because a freshman could write a 3 to 6 page paper. That doesn't mean that it's any good. Okay, then the second goal here, I can use MLA format. Well, let me ask you this. When did you start using MLA? You probably were still in high school. Okay, so now you're ready to be a college junior, and you are writing about something that, you've been using and you've been getting better at, but it's not a very compelling reason to say that you're ready to be a college junior. So not all goals are created equal. Some are very, very superficial. Okay, so now let's continue thinking about what an argument is and the kind of argument that you are actually writing. I'm going to take you back to English 111 for just a minute. When you are in English 111, you write an argumentative paper. You write a report and you write an argumentative paper. You are also introduced to different kinds of argument even though you write one major paper, and mostly students tend to write the claim of policy paper. It's about, an issue, there's a problem, and something should be done about it, and what should we do to solve that? That's a claim of policy. What we are doing, though, with the reflections, our arguments are claims of value. Is it good or bad? Is my writing good or not so good? Is my oral communication good or not so good? What criteria should I use to evaluate myself to decide whether my skill is good or not? Okay, so anyway, you are claiming with the core skills and program outcomes that you have improved, that you've had goals, and now that the artifacts that you are selecting demonstrate that you have met your goals, not that, it's completely over and you're at, where you need to be, forever and ever. You're going to continue to improve, but for right now, for where you are at the end of your associate's degree, getting ready to become a college junior, you're ready to move on. Okay, so anyway, you are writing evaluations. Evaluation means to judge. You are judging the quality of your work, and of course you want to see the best in it. Okay, and you also have to decide what criteria that you are going to use to evaluate your skills. Saying that, you've learned how to, write a speech that's a certain amount of, a certain amount of minutes, that's not a really good, it's not a really good goal, because there's only so much you can do with that. Okay, so we're going to look at a couple of examples. Okay, I always go to the outcome statement itself. A lot of you are not including these in the work that you submit, but when you're thinking about your artifact, writing your goals and reflections, you need to think about the outcome. The learner will exchange ideas and information with others using the spoken word in a manner effective and appropriate for the intended audience. Okay, so basically you're going to show your audience that you can present a college level speech. Alright, so I went to the Oral Communication Core Skills rubric and I got these criteria. If you're not sure how a speech or presentation should be evaluated, go to the rubric and look. Okay, so we have adaptation. This is audience analysis and thinking about how your audience is going to react and narrowing your topic and things of that nature. So if you want to argue that you've learned how to, adapt your topic for the audience, then use adaptation. Organization is how you put it together. You can read the description on the rubric. Support, using sources to support and how well you support the argument. Delivery, the different things that you do, to create a good presentation, like your intonations, your word choice, and things like that. And then finally, language. So you have criteria that you could choose. So instead of just saying, well, it meets the basic, length of the speech, try to use the criteria. Okay, so moving right along. Let's look at this goal. To make sure I spoke within the time required of me, and to make sure I spoke clearly and loud enough so my audience could understand my message. Well, first of all, there are two goals in this goal. Okay, to make sure I spoke within the time limit, within the time required of me. Okay, well, that's important for the assignment, but what else are you going to be able to say about that? Nothing. Your speech was 8 to 10 minutes and it met the requirement, but it doesn't really say anything about the quality of that speech. Okay, and so then you have, and to make sure I spoke clearly and loud enough so my audience can understand my message. Alright, that's good. It sounds like that would be in the criterion of delivery. So that could be developed. So you tried to keep your voice loud enough. Did you also try to maybe pace yourself? Say things, like at different I don't know, using different paces, and whatever you did, for delivery. Okay, I'm going to move on to another goal. To make sure that I made eye contact with my audience and that I used the entire stage. Okay, this is two things here too, and it sounds once more about delivery. So what I would suggest with this goal is to make it about delivery. What did you do in order to present that? And you can look at the criterion: demonstrates fluent, polished delivery, strengthens the impact of the message, uses an appropriate tone of voice, is free of distracting mannerisms, tries to connect with the audience. Okay, so anyway, class, my point is you want goals that you can develop and talk about and reflect on, but they need to connect with the outcome, and you need to be able to demonstrate them using the artifact. I mean, like for instance with this speech, you're going to have to go back, you're going to have to look at it again so you can use details. So I'm going to stop here. I hope that this helps you, and I'll talk to you soon.